Thank you.
It's okay to talk, Al. I've just finished checking the room for bugs.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. I've been a cop too long not to know how to check for bugs or spot a tail when I see one. He was on me the minute I left the Institute.
Gilvani. He's a sharp one. If he's tailed you on the outside, then he must have a tail on you inside, too. Don't come to my room, Noah. You're welcome anytime.
Will you two kindly keep your mind on business?
That's what I'm doing. As long as I'm tied up here, my business interests are limited to the material at hand.
Kindly inform Miss Ames that she is to treat you as one of the enemy.
You tell her.
Al, I've located the lens, and maybe I can get it out of its cabinet. But how do I get it out of the building?
In your pocket. You walk out 1 foot ahead of the other. Very simple.
Well, if you'd had one look at Gilvani, you know that isn't going to be easy. Besides, there's always somebody in that optics lab.
Well, keep the pressure on the doctor. From what you told me, it shouldn't be too difficult.
I can't turn romance on and off like a faucet.
What kind of a secret agent are you?
A boss secret agent.
A boss secret agent?
Yes, a boss secret agent. I'm used to getting things done by directives. Al, I'm in this over my head. I can't pull it off.
Sure you can. Sure you can. I'll be with you all the way. Have I ever let you down? Well?
I'm thinking about it. How's your leg?
Well, with the tender, loving care of Miss Ames, I've been able to manage a few steps, but I'm not well enough to pull a job off. Maybe in a few days I...
You know we can't wait.
Then work on Dr. Snyder. Try nibbling on her ears. They like that. You're taking her out to dinner tonight, aren't you, Noah?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'll be there. I'll be listening to every word you mumble.
Well, small talk isn't my strong point.
Well, then try some big talk. Come on with some big talk. I'll give you every hint I can.
Oh, it galls me to think of you lying there.
No, I'm on a bed of pain.
Al, if this circuit were wired for television, I have a hunch I'd come over there and break your other leg.
No, you have a dirty but accurate mind. Have a nice time at dinner tonight, boss. I know I will.
Why don't you just dump it all on the tablecloth? That way we won't have to decide where to start eating.
What are you, comrade? Some kind of a counter-revolutionary?
I'm afraid the service isn't as good as it used to be.
I suppose you have to accept a few inconveniences for the sake of all this.
Well, these are merely surface appearances. The real accomplishments of the revolution aren't so visible.
Apparently.
Easy on the social criticism, Rudolph. You're there to romance it, remember?
That oaf. He's having us watched.
Who?
Gilvani. The man over there by the wall. One of his policemen.
Well, it's nice to know you're being remembered. I must say, Doctor, that in spite of socialist equality of the sexes, it hasn't made you any less attractive as a woman.
Atta boy, Noah.
Well, I'm afraid my work has kept me so busy that I haven't had much time to think of anything else.
Well, I believe in hard work myself. But surely one must take time for the more pleasurable aspects in life.
The greatest pleasure is achieved through accomplishment.
That depends on what it is you accomplish, don't you think?
Tell me, Professor, does the sun still shine every day in Los Angeles?
Every day.
Oh, I enjoyed myself so much there at the university. Of course, I was just a frivolous young girl.
I wish I could have been there then.
But you must have been a beautiful young girl.
What?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
tell her, will you? You must have been a beautiful young girl. Go ahead.
I meant to say, you must have been a beautiful young girl.
Oh, well, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Well, maybe not in your country, but in mine it always matters.
Professor, you are gallant. And it really doesn't hurt anything, does it? A little gallantry. Well, now, tell me about your work.
Well, there really isn't very much to tell.
Oh, but I'm sure your experiments in the determination of the constant Zawodny factor in hyperwaves are fascinating.
Oh, them, sure. Fascinating. You have the prettiest eyes.
Keep throwing them in there, Lefty.
Personally, I feel that Professor Ellington is in error with his hypothesis that...
Absolutely. He shouldn't even have started. Have you ever been married?
Married?
Yes.
Why, no.
I can't believe that. An attractive woman like you. I bet you left a trail of broken hearts behind you.
Professor? Thank you. Tell me more about yourself.
That's all they did?
Yes, sir. They had dinner, and they talked, and he took her home.
Oh, were they friendly?
They seemed friendly.
I don't mean did they shake hands and treat each other politely. Was there anything between them?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what?
At the table, sir.
With this, we are going to win the world. Now, get out of here.
Yes, sir.
You read these Dorganov?
Yes, sir. A complete history on Dorkovich. His universities, his honors and awards, his publications, his works.
Very thorough.
Thank you, sir.
Except for one little thing. No one seems to have met the man personally. No one knows what he looks like. Everything we have is second-hand.
It has all been verified, sir.
I do not plan to underestimate the talents of American intelligence. Does Dorkovich exist? Is he real?
But he is staying at the Red Star Hotel.
And to think that you are standing there while the collective farms are screaming for milkmaids.
Colonel, I couldn't care less about such things. Professor Dorkovich is a wonderful, sympathetic, intelligent man.
Doctor, the West is corrupt, decadent, and oppressive. Nevertheless, it does occasionally seduce the weaker among us. We must be strong at all times.
I cannot be bothered. My work is far too important.
Very well, then I must tell you something about the lens.
What about the lens?
It was not exactly developed by our scientists.
Oh, but I understood...
What you understood is not important. The lens is contraband. There are people who are trying to steal it from us.
Contraband? You mean stolen?
It is our property, and it must be guarded at all times.
Well, isn't that what you are paid to do, Colonel?
You make my job difficult. Professor Dorkovich may be here for the one purpose of getting the lens away from us.
Who did the lens originally belong to, Colonel?
It is the property of the state. If anything happens to it while it is in your custody, well, let me just say that the immediate responsibility is yours, and that there is a need for scientists in Siberia.
Well, you've got to get the key, Noah.
She carries it on her person at all times.
Believe me, if you work it right, there's nothing more accessible than a lady's person. I don't think you've got the right attitude.
I can't get the key.
All right. You'll have to pick the lock. Now, the next time you go to the Institute, see if they've got any automatic sprinklers.
What for?
Careful.
Al. Al, what for?
For fun, Noah. Don't you ever do anything for fun?
Yes, I do. I send people to prison, and don't you forget it. Yes, Al. The whole building is protected by automatic sprinklers.
Good. Then we might as well do it now. Those sprinklers are tied into a fire alarm system. Touch them off and everybody will head for the great outdoors. Everyone but you. Clear?
How about the lock in the How about the lock in the cabinet?
The place will be in total confusion for about 15 minutes. That ought to be enough time, even for you. Have you got the torch?
Got it.
All right. If it's clear, we do it now. Can you reach the sprinkler heads?
If I push a table over underneath it.
My son, you have my blessings. Do it.
Professor Dorkovich.
I wanted to work with you. Perhaps it's a good thing I did. What are you doing?